Good afternoon, welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us. I'm Josh Schimmels, the publisher and CEO of the Los Angeles Business Journal. It's an honor to host the 2020 Leaders in Law Awards. We've all joined together live from our homes or our offices to properly recognize some of the very best attorneys in the region. We're here to pay tribute to the significant roles that in-house counsel play in the success of the businesses that they represent. We're also highlighting the accomplishments of leading attorneys representing many of the top firms here in Los Angeles. I'm proud to share that we received nearly 250 submissions this year. That's 250 nominations forms that had to be read through and then taken into consideration to narrow down to just 13 awards. I can tell you that having personally read every single one of them, we have an outstanding group of attorneys with us today. So thank you for your involvement in this program. All of our nominees in each category are being recognized for their achievements in several areas, for their exceptional legal knowledge, ability to protect the companies they work for, the parties that they represent, their overall career achievements, their leadership, and their contributions to the community as a whole. As we move forward in the program today, we'll first announce finalists and winners for firm attorneys in 6 different award categories. Then we'll announce finalists and winners in 7 in-house award categories as well. Before we announce the first awards, I'd like to take just a moment to thank all of our sponsors. We can't do this without you, not just for the support of this program here today, but all that you're doing to support our community of business. So a very, very special thank you to our 2 platinum sponsors, Scorpion and USC Gould School of Law. Thank you both so much for your investment in time as well to be a part of this program. Additionally, I'd like to thank all of our gold sponsors, Forensics Group, Houston Hennigan, Latham & Watkins, Milbank, Miller Barendess, Pulcinelli, and Thompson Coburn. Thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure working with you, and we appreciate all that you do to be a part of and support our legal community. All right, well, it's time to formally introduce our 2020 class of nominees. First in the firm attorney categories. I think you'll agree you are all in great company. How about a round of applause for all of our firm attorney nominations? All right, how about a round of applause for all of our firm attorney nominations? Congratulations to each of you. I think it's really great as we look at the list of those who have made it this year. We see a lot of familiar faces, but an awful lot of people who are new to the list. So congratulations on your accomplishments. Joining us now to announce our finalists and our winners in this first categories, please welcome Darren Sennett, Senior Vice President of Regional Sales at Scorpion. Darren, thanks for being here.
Josh, thank you. You know, for 13 years, I worked at the Business Journal with you and everybody else, and coming back to support an event with so many amazing attorneys, it's really great to be on this side to be part of this event. So thank you for having me. Really quickly, Scorpion is a digital marketing platform which helps attorneys get to improve their digital presence and get more of the types of cases that they are looking to get. Now with that, I think it's time. Let's just kick it off and start with our first award. The first award of today's program is in the real estate category. The finalists are Diane DeFelice, Brownstein, Hyatt, Farber, Schreck. Diane combines her land use and environmental law proficiency with proven litigation skills in large development and infrastructure projects. David Grayler, Nossaman. David serves as chair of Nossaman's litigation department, co-chair of its real estate practice group, on the Judicial Appointments Committee for the Los Angeles County Bar Association. Stephen Lurie, Greenberg Glusker. Clients turn to Steve for counsel on structuring complex transactions and entities and to find creative strategies to get deals done. David Nahai, Lewis, Brisbois, Bisgard, and Smith. David's expertise covers purchase and sale deals, commercial leases, construction and development agreements, and joint venture matters of all kinds. And finally, Jerry Newman, DLA Piper. Jerry uses his practice to push for better, more livable and sustainable communities while promoting the success of his clients' projects. Congratulations to all of the finalists. The 2020 honoree for Real Estate Attorney of the Year is Stephen Lurie, Greenberg and Glusker. Stephen, congratulations. We'd like to invite you to unmute and say a few words.
Well, thank you, Darren, and thank you to the Los Angeles Business Journal for this award. It's especially nice during these challenging times to have such nice news to share with family and friends. I'd also like to congratulate my fellow nominees and finalists in the real estate category. This is really an outstanding group of lawyers, and I'm humbled to be in such great company. I'd also like to especially thank my colleagues at Greenberg Glusker. We have a deep bench of talented attorneys and an incredible support staff. This award is truly the result of a great team effort. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my assistant of more than 20 years and give her a special shout out, Mary Hammond. And she's just been incredibly supportive to me over the years, and especially while we've been working remotely. And then lastly, I'd like to thank my wife, Andrea, and my kids, Rachel and Jason. You have always been so understanding and supportive, and no amount of professional accomplishment would be gratifying if I wasn't able to share it with you. Thanks again, and congratulations to everyone who's on this call. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Look, I'd like to ask you a question. What do you think has been the most challenging part of your role this past year?
I think this is a time where clients are leaning on me, not just for legal advice, but also for business judgment and advice. There just obviously have been a lot of things that have come up that no one anticipated would come up during the pandemic. And so that's been a challenge to provide that support for lots of clients in need. But I think we've risen to the challenge and been able to do that.
All right, well, thank you and congratulations again. Our next award is for the litigation category. Our finalists are Brad Bryan, Munger, Tolles & Olson. Bryan has represented numerous Fortune 500 corporations in multi-billion-dollar lawsuits, investigations, and trials that have shaped entire industries. Robin Crowther, Steptoe & Johnson. Robin also serves on the board of directors for Public Counsel, specializing in delivering pro bono legal services. Lisa Guilford, Sidley Austin. Lisa serves as the Diversity Committee co-chair of Sidley's Greater Los Angeles offices and is a member of Sidley's CCPA Litigation Task Force. Mark Holscher, Kirkland & Ellis. Mark is a fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers and the International Academy of Trial Lawyers. And Janet Kwan, Reed Smith. Janet leads high-stakes multi-district litigation, class actions, and coordinated actions on behalf of her pharmaceutical and medical device company and higher education institution clients. Congratulations to all of our finalists. The 2020 honoree for Litigator of the Year is Janet Kwan Reed Smith. Janice is with us today, and we'd like to have her unmute and say a few brief words.
Thank you very much to the Los Angeles Business Journal for this recognition. As a native Angelino, I particularly appreciate the organizations that have been part of our city's fabric for decades. And even more so now, I think we all benefit from LA Business Journal's commitment to the commerce of the city through the pandemic. So again, thank you very much. As a partner of the LA office of Reed Smith, now having been there for over 20 years, and as a former deputy district attorney for the County of Los Angeles, I have to thank my colleagues and mentors because it really does take a village. And so I have great appreciation for all those around me. And then lastly, of course, I must thank my family for being both patient and supportive through all these years. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Now, my question for you, so the audience can get to know you a little bit better, how has your role been affected by the pandemic this year?
So I'm fortunate enough to manage our commercial disputes litigation group, which is about 200 lawyers across the country. And I would say we have, over 100 associates and then counsel and partners. And so despite being in, somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 18 offices here in the United States, we've been really lucky that the technology and things like video conferencing and even events like today have been able to keep us available. And in fact, I found that we actually get greater attendance on our internal events now because people have more availability and fewer of our, our lawyers aren't traveling. So that part I think has worked well. It is a challenge on the personal side. And so we all are making much more of an effort to reach out and connect to each other internally. And then I think, to follow on that same thing with regard to our clients as well. So it's definitely been a gear shift, but I think that, this is sort of the reality of our being able to use technology more efficiently in running our businesses. And, we are all extremely privileged to be in a profession where we can continue to work and do what we love to do and what we need to do despite the pandemic. And so I think that we all feel that deep sense of gratefulness as well.
Thank you, Janet. Yeah, I think that is definitely something that we all have struggled with, but congratulations again.
Thank you.
Our next award of the program is in the bankruptcy category. The nominees are Jennifer Hagel, Sidley Austin. For 3 decades, Jennifer has taken the lead on some of the industry's most notable bankruptcy and out-of-court restructuring transactions. Tanya Moyran, Denton's, US. For the past 25 months, Tanya has successfully led and managed the second largest hospital restructuring bankruptcy case in US history. Abigail O'Brien, Mintz. Abigail started as an associate in Mintz's bankruptcy and restructuring group in 2009 and was elevated to partner in 2019. Patricia Rodriguez, Rodriguez Law Group. Patricia's approach is unique and sincere. She works tirelessly to help individuals and businesses that are suffering unjust hardships. And Mark Schinderman Milbank. Mark has nearly 30 years of experience restructuring companies inside and outside of bankruptcy across a diverse group of industries. Congratulations again to all of the finalists. The 2020 honoree for Bankruptcy Attorney of the Year is Jennifer Hagel, Sidley Austin. Jennifer, join us and say a few words.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to thank the LA Business Journal and all of the sponsors here today for this wonderful acknowledgement of what's been a crazy, stressful, and extremely busy year. I think we restructuring lawyers were anticipating an economic downturn in 2020, but who could have ever predicted the effect that the global pandemic and volatile election season would have on the global economy? It's definitely been a wild ride, and I very much appreciate being part of such a prestigious group of nominees. This is certainly the A-team of Southern California lawyers, and it means a lot to me to be recognized along with the rest of you. I do, of course, want to recognize my Sidley team, as it would not be possible to either service my clients or execute on my deals without a very large bench of exceptionally talented and dedicated lawyers and staff located in Los Angeles and well beyond. I say team, but really it's family, given that I've grown up at Sidley, having spent my entire 33-year legal career in Sidley's LA office. In particular, I would like to thank our greater LA managing partners, Dan Klivner and Roland Ransom, for being my biggest cheerleaders, along with my husband, Bob, and my 3 now grown kids, Eric, Jeffrey, and Courtney, for putting up with the significant demands this career has made on my time year after year. If the pandemic has taught me anything, it's to never take for granted my practice, my clients, my colleagues, and my family. I will continue to try and keep this gratitude in the forefront when I feel like I'm going stir crazy within the 4 walls of my home office. Again, thank you for this honor, and I wish everyone in attendance good health, mental wellness, and peace as we close out 2020 and hopefully move into a much less stressful 2021.
I hear that. Jennifer, I wanted to ask you, can you share an accomplishment your team had this year?
Yeah, I think the biggest accomplishment this year was our role in the largest oil and gas Chapter 11 case that's been filed in the Southern District of Texas, Chesapeake Energy. We represent MUFG as the administrative agent on a $3 billion pre-petition revolving facility, a $2 billion debtor in possession financing, and a $2.5 billion exit financing. The case was extraordinarily complicated and difficult to execute. We got hired in April, obviously the onslaught of the pandemic and the international relations and negotiations over oil and gas precipitated a lot of oil and gas and energy filings this year. But this one was particularly complicated to accomplish on a remote basis with all of the various parties. We were able to negotiate successful entry into bankruptcy through debtor in possession financing, along with an exit, together with other parties to a restructuring support agreement. And again, being able to enter into bankruptcy on a relatively smooth basis and clearing the way for hopefully an exit, if not by the end of this year or early next year. And again, others have remarked about the use of technology and our ability to execute not just court appearances, but depositions, negotiations, and closing incredibly complex transactional, restructuring deals under these circumstances has been extremely gratifying and taken a whole lot of people. But again, I think is a testament to how much we were able to accomplish and how quickly we were able to pivot into a remote environment.
Thank you, Jennifer. Next, I have the pleasure of announcing finalists and our winner in the intellectual property category. Our finalists are Peter Anderson, Davis Wright Tremaine. Peter has advocated for several important principles in music that will continue to resonate for years to come. Morgan Chu, Irel and Manila. Morgan has secured many of the largest verdicts, judgments, and settlements, resulting in actual payments totaling more than $5 billion. Thomas Daly, Louis Roca Rothgerber Christie. Tom has over 30 years of experience in intellectual property, focusing on patent and trademark litigation. David Gindler, Milbank. As head of the firm's intellectual property litigation and licensing group, David's practice focuses on intellectual property litigation and licensing. And Bita Rahibi, Morrison Forster. Bita works with the world's most innovative technology companies by providing strategic direction, leading complex, high-stakes litigation matters. Join me in congratulating the 2020 honoree for Intellectual Property Attorney of the Year, David Gindler, Milbank. Congratulations, David. We'd like to invite you to say a few words.
Well, thank you, Darren. It's wonderful for the Los Angeles Business Journal to host this award, to bring everybody together in these very challenging and difficult times. I'd like to congratulate all of the other nominees who are truly extraordinary. I'm honored just to be part of a list on which all their names appear. I want to express my gratitude for the clients who over the years have trusted me to handle some of their most challenging matters. My practice in law is due entirely to the work that the clients entrust to me and to my colleagues. They've given me extraordinary opportunities, and I really owe my career to them. But I also owe my career to my colleagues who work with me at Milbank, the partners and the associates there. Anything which I've achieved is their achievement, and probably even more so. They are extraordinary colleagues and friends, and I'm honored to practice law with them. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife of over 3 decades, Kiki Ramos Gindler. She was once a lawyer. She found a higher calling working in the nonprofit community. She's been my partner, and I'm very proud to congratulate my wife as well. So thank you.
Thank you, David, and congratulations again. Hey, I wanted to ask you, can you tell us about a particular project, a challenge you had this year and how you overcame it?
So yes, but it's not about the law. So one of the things which I spend a lot of time doing is working in the nonprofit world, as my wife does, and I serve on a number of nonprofit boards of directors. They include the Los Angeles Philharmonic, small theater company called Antias Theater Company, the Los Angeles Master Chorale. Well, guess what's happening? There's no performances anymore. And these are all nonprofit organizations. And so the challenge is to help an organization based upon convening and gathering, be able to get to the other side. And I'm very proud to say that for each of these organizations, we have come up with plans by engaging with donors and the community to help them survive in these very difficult times when they can't perform now, and to find alternative outlets, digital outlets, audio outlets, to be able to engage and connect with the community. And so in terms of things which for me, have been challenges and have had major impacts, I think that's been very gratifying for me and for Los Angeles, where I grew up.
Thank you, David. I love that. I think that's so important in giving back and what you're able to do. Now on to the award for labor and employment category. Our finalists are Kate Gold, Pruskauer. Kate's expertise includes class and collective actions, discrimination, retaliation and harassment, non-compete and wage hour matters. Nina Huerta, Locke Lord. Nina is co-leader of Locke Lord's COVID-19 task force and maintains the firm's COVID-19 resource center. Roland Juarez, Hunton Andrews Kurth. Roland sits on Hunton Andrew Kurth's diversity committee and serves as the co-chair for the Minority Lawyers Subcommittee. Katuri K, Trucker Huss. In addition to working full-time as a partner at Trucker Huss, Katuri started her own nonprofit and serves on many boards. And Dana Kravitz, Michaelman and Robinson. Dana is a sought-after employment lawyer who also prides himself on his active involvement in the community. The 2020 honoree for Labor Employment Attorney of the Year is Katuri K. Trucker Huss. Katuri, can you please join us for a few remarks?
Hi, Darren. I just want to first thank the Los Angeles Business Journal and the sponsors and Trucker Huss, my law firm, my family and friends for their constant support. And I just want to say, when I think about leaders in law, of course, when we think about leadership, we expect all of us to be excellent lawyers. And I'm in a category of clearly remarkable lawyers. But also, when I think about leadership, I think about being a servant. And it's very important when you are a servant to think about your larger community and the concept of community. And I really think it's important in this time that we as lawyers kind of really challenge our concept of community. What does our community look like? Are these people that just look like us or act like us or even are in our same spheres of influence? And it's really important for us as lawyers to look at the larger community and make sure that we're making true changes for the larger community. I went to undergrad at UC Berkeley, where people think Berkeley's pretty radical and people are really into leadership there. But it wasn't until I went to law school at Howard University that we were taught to be social engineers. So in everything that I do in the entire practice of law, I'm always looking at how can I make a change, who can I change, and what is my larger community? So I really take this leadership in the law very seriously, and I really appreciate this honor.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you, what has been the biggest trend you have seen specifically in regards to labor and employment during the pandemic?
I think the trends right now is just communicating with our employees, the participants, and if you have retirement plans, health and welfare plans, but just employees in large. We're reaching out with our clients and helping them kind of understand, considering that the labor force is now everywhere. People have moved back home, considering where they may be quarantined and where it may be cheaper to live. So in terms of getting communications out to participants, communications out to employees, and staying in connection with employees, that's been a huge thing for our clients. And we've really been working with them in order to make sure things are streamlined, make sure required disclosures are going out, and make sure they understand where the larger population is.
Thank you, Katuri. And now for our final attorney category for corporate attorney. Our finalists are Pippa Bond, Kirkland & Ellis. Since the onset of COVID-19, Pippa has worked tirelessly on some of the largest retail restructurings as stores shut down and overall consumer demand changed. Susan Grunberg, Cozen O'Connor. Susan has been practicing in the field for more than 35 years and is a trusted business advisor, regulatory counselor, and certified franchise specialist. Andrea Lukin, Aiken Gump, Strauss, Hauer, and Feld. Andrea shepherds highly complex transactions involving the sale, acquisition, development, and financing of renewable energy projects. Tim Poydenis, Goodwin Procter. Tim is a leading advisor when it comes to business and venture capital law by representing emerging growth companies and venture capital investors. And finally, Jason Silvera, Latham & Watkins. Jason has stood out as a firm leader during the COVID-19 pandemic, fostering a sense of community and cohesion at the firm during the shift to remote work. The winner is Pippa Bond, Kirkland & Ellis. Congratulations, Pippa. We'd like you to say a few words.
Thanks so much, Darren, and thank you to the Los Angeles Business Journal for this incredible recognition, which is really gratifying after such a trying year. I'm relatively new to my firm, to Kirkland, and I have to say I really feel like I'm a part of an incredible team. I share this award with all of my colleagues whom I miss. I also share it with colleagues at peer firms because I really feel like we are sort of all going through this shared experience right now, and the level of collaboration, even with folks across the table, has just been, I think, one of the nicer aspects of what we're all going through. I certainly want to thank my clients as well. Wouldn't be here without them, and the work that we do for them makes all of this worthwhile. And of course, my wonderful family, who puts up with a lot while I'm working all the time. So thank you.
So my question for you, what are you most looking forward to in 2021?
Seeing people. You know, I think everybody has been amazed at how well the entire industry has adapted to remote practice. But there really is no substitution for everyone being together, being in the room with your colleagues, with your mentees, with your mentors, really sharing that experience, being across the table again from folks at other firms with whom you're working. It really makes this entire career so much more meaningful, and I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to that when the day comes.
I could not agree more. I think that's how we all feel. Congratulations again to all of the attorneys, nominees, finalists, honorees. Josh, I'm handing it back to you.
Thank you so much, Darren. And I want to congratulate all the finalists and the winners in that first categories as well. Just listen to each of you speak about the passion that you have for your clients that you serve, for the firms that you work with. It's really amazing. And, we did not tell the winners ahead of time the questions we were going to be asking them. So it's also nice to have some just an opportunity to get to know you guys on a different level. So thank you guys for being here. Congratulations to everyone in that first group of categories. Next up, we're going to be honoring and taking a look at the In-House Counsel. Please meet the 2020 class of nominees in the In-House Counsel award categories. Congratulations to all of our nominees. It is our pleasure to introduce and help welcome to announce our In-House Counsel Awards finalists and winners today. Please welcome Dean Andrew Guzman, Dean and Carl Mason Franklin Chair in Law and Professor of Law and Political Science with USC Gould School of Law. Dean, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Josh. It's quite an honor to be here. On behalf of the USC Gould of Law, I'm really pleased to be a sponsor of the LA Business Journal's Leaders in Law event and to have an opportunity to introduce so many superb lawyers. One of our goals as a law school is to prepare our students to become not regular lawyers, but superb lawyers, innovators and influencers, the kind of people who redefine the legal profession, who improve their organizations and who improve the lives of those around them. And so that makes it all the more pleasant to be able to take part in this event and have this opportunity to participate in celebrating the work and accomplishment of so many of LA's top lawyers. So thank you for the opportunity. And let me start with the first award of the program, which is in the Rising Star category. The finalists are Patrick Kirby, WebCore. Patrick oversees WebCore's day-to-day legal operations of major projects exceeding $600 million in annual regional revenue. Nikita Patel, Fashion File. As the first in-house attorney for Fashion File, Nikita quickly dove into building policies and protocols that were tailored to the company's unique business and workforce. Luis Perez, Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. Luis joined CHIRLA to coordinate its Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Clinic and is now supervising a staff of 58 in 10 offices. Congratulations to all 3 finalists. The 2020 honoree for In-House Counsel Rising Star of the Year is Nikita Patel of Fashion File. Nikita is with us today, and I'd like to invite her to unmute and say a few brief words.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the award today, especially as a native Angelino and a first-time GC. This is a huge honor, and I'm super grateful to have just been included in the mix along so many talented lawyers. I'd like to thank everyone at Fashion File for being so innovative and keeping my job interesting. And especially I want to thank Trey Monday, who's our CFO, for taking a chance on me and hiring me as the company's first lawyer. For those of you who are not familiar with Fashion File, we're a luxury re-commerce company, hence the room full of Birkins behind me. Of course, I want to thank my family for supporting me and frankly putting up with me during COVID. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank Francine No at Goodwin for being a top-notch advisor and fantastic friend over the years. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Nikita. Let me ask you a question so the audience can get to know you a little better. How long have you been in your role, and what about it excites you the most?
So I've been in my role since April, so roughly 7 months now. What excites me the most is that I've actually been with Fashion File as a consumer for several years. I want to say about 6 or 7 years now. And when I first heard about Fashion File, I just thought this is such a cool company. And now to be able to come in on the ground floor and be their attorney is just so exciting to work with everyone, to be at the table and to advise, on business decisions, and just to see this company grow that I've followed for so many years. So I'm definitely excited for the future for the company. And again, just super grateful to have been nominated for this today.
Terrific, congratulations. Our next award for the program is in the nonprofit category. Our finalists are Yemi Adigbonmir, the Bail Project. Serving as the general counsel since 2019, Yemi is a highly successful intellectual property and entertainment attorney. Melissa Clinton, the Aerospace Corporation. Melissa serves as a strategic partner to the C-suite on a broad range of issues, including compliance, strategy, ethics, mission, and culture. Karen Thorland, Motion Picture Association. Karen manages content protection, civil litigation, and oversees the MPA's global voluntary initiatives. Congratulations to all finalists. The 2020 honoree for In-House Counsel in the nonprofit category is Melissa Clinton, the Aerospace Corporation. Congratulations, Melissa. I'd like to invite you to say a few words.
Thank you, Dean Guzman. I want to thank the village. Someone else used that phrase, and it's one that I use often. At Aerospace, I really stand on their very capable shoulders. Aerospace is the nation's trusted partner, solving the hardest problems across the space enterprise. That's fancy speak to convey that we help our government launch US satellites designed to make us secure and enable all of us to sleep well at night. I want to thank Rodney Beard, my capable admin who really props me up day by day to make sure that I deliver for the client. I want to thank Diana Ramirez from our corporate communications team for helping to gather up this nomination. I am grateful to be among such esteemed company and colleagues. And I also want to thank Josh Schimmels for all that you do with the LA Business Journal. And finally, I want to thank my 3 amazing children for being incredibly independent and capable and inspiring me.
Thank you, Melissa. Let me ask you the following question. Being counsel at a nonprofit is both rewarding and challenging. How is it different than the work you might perform at a for-profit?
That's a great question and one I didn't anticipate. The biggest difference I always say is that we're mission oriented. We can't wake up tomorrow and decide that we want to go in a different line of business. The Attorney General of California would have a problem with that. And it's quite rewarding to wake up each day and know that the primary objective is to fulfill the mission above and beyond making money, above and beyond ego. I think what makes that challenging is that we still have obligations to our employees. So when COVID hits, we've got to figure out how to keep them comfortable and safe and yet working. And we switched a full 75% of our employees to working from home. After the George Floyd incident, we had to take a hard look at our insides and at our African-American employees and ask if we were properly serving them. And we decided we weren't, and that we needed to launch another mission area to improve our engagement survey scores among them. So it's tough because you have all of the same calls to duty, and yet at the end of the day, you've got to make sure you're assuring the mission.
Wonderful, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Our next award is in the government sector. In this area, there is one nominee that stood out from the others, so we will not be having any finalists in this category. We'll skip right to the bottom line. And our 2020 honoree for Government or Municipal In-House Counsel of the Year is Joseph Brivich with the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. Throughout the years, Joe has guided LADWP as it takes actions to adapt to climate change, including advising on construction and power purchase deals for renewable sources and overseeing negotiations with large corporations to remediate contaminated local groundwater. Joe, I'd like to invite you to say a few words, please. You there, Joe?
Yes, the tech skills is not my forte, so getting off of mute was a challenge. Thank you very much, Dean, for this honor. I truly appreciate it. I am fortunate to be part of a tremendous organization, and can honestly say that I enjoy going to work every day and look forward to going to work every day. I'd like to thank the city attorney for giving me the opportunity to have this position. And I'd really like to thank my team, the group leaders that I have. I have a very diverse team. The entire group that we have, they could do their job without me, but I can't do my job without them. And I appreciate that every day. So I am thankful for that, and thankful just to be included in this group of folks. And thank you to my family for putting up with me every day. So at the end of the day, I know I can be a challenge. So thank you to everybody, and I am truly humbled by this.
Thank you. So my question to you is this: how did you end up in the government sector?
I spent probably 15 years in private practice. And at one point I had the opportunity to be outside counsel to the Alameda Corridor project, which was at the time the largest public works project in the United States. And just working with them and that team and having a common purpose, really, I found it very rewarding. And the opportunity to do something that benefits the public on a day-to-day basis is something that is just immensely rewarding, and what again makes it fun going to work every day.
Perfect. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Next, we'll do awards for privately held companies. The Los Angeles Business Journal has split this competitive category into 3 based on company size. So we'll be announcing finalists and honorees representing small, medium, and large private companies. And we'll start with the small. Our finalists are Ken Choi, Oceanwide Plaza, LLC. Ken leads a team that serves as key legal advisors on all major real estate and business transactions at Oceanwide Plaza. Jason Lee, Lido Advisors. Jason joined Lido Advisors as a partner, general counsel, and chief compliance officer, but his role has expanded and now encompasses the firm's overall administrative, operational, legal, and regulatory functions. Keith Peterson, Gimbel. The integrity behind Keith's work provides a great deal of comfort to his colleagues who rely on him to keep Gimbel legally and morally above the line. Congratulations to all 3 finalists. The 2020 honoree for in-house counsel in the small private category is Jason Lee from Lido Advisors. Jason, Please unmute and say a few words.
Thank you, Dean Guzman, for this wonderful honor. I wanted to also congratulate my fellow nominees, all who are truly remarkable. Recently, I was fortunate to participate in a panel with our community partner, College Track, a great organization that supports at-risk high school students in Boyle Heights and Watts and follows them through until they graduate college. The first question on this panel posed was, who are you? I'm the son of immigrants. I entered school in my parents' new country, unable to speak a single word of English. I've been fortunate to be the beneficiary of mentors and sponsors who offered a hand and an opportunity to someone who had never met a lawyer until I attended law school. The question we've been asking ourselves at Lido Advisors amidst all the turmoil we faced this last year, who are we? We're amongst the fastest growing and largest independent wealth advisors in America. We do right by our clients. But how do we do right by our community and our society at large? Part of our answer is the implementation of the Mansfield Rule, where we won't fill an opportunity in our ranks until 30% of those candidates are women, people of color, or members of the LGBTQ community. We will do our part to ensure equity across our firm and our industry, to ensure that the path less traveled is not the path never traveled. Thank you to the LA Business Journal for this honor. Very grateful to my partners at Lido Advisors, Greg Kushner, our CEO, Jason Ogier, our president, Ken Stern for their leadership, my legal and compliance team, Brian, Farron, Kat, couldn't do it without you. And finally, thank you to my wonderful wife, my 8- and 4-year-old, who provide really boundless joy in my remote work at home experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. So my question for you is this: how has your company's pandemic strategy impacted your day-to-day role?
In every conceivable way. As the Chief Compliance Officer at Lido Advisors, I'm charged with implementing what's called the Business Continuity Plan, which is a fancy way of saying when things go wrong, who do you turn to? And that's me. So at the start of all this chaos, everyone looked to me to ensure that our workforce remained deployed and able to serve our clients. And that role continues through coordinating the boundless, endless Zoom meetings that I think we all know and I think hopefully have grown to love, maybe, to making sure that people remain connected and that the vibrant culture of our firm continue.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Jason.
Thank you.
Next, we move on to the medium-sized private company category, where our finalists are Rachel Crostman, Colbury Companies Trojan Storage. Along with her full-time in-house counsel and acquisitions role, Rachel is currently working on growing the Los Angeles-based network of Support Our Scholars students. Colbert Liu, On-Prem Solutions Partners. Colbert became the first general counsel at On-Prem Solution Partners and manages all their legal functions. Michael Marchand, Headspace. In addition to his core responsibilities, Michael has drafted and negotiated several key partnerships with brands such as Microsoft, Amazon, Nike, the NBA, Spotify, and Snap. Congratulations to all 3 finalists. The 2020 honoree for in-house counsel in the medium private category is Michael Marchand of Headspace. Michael, please say a few words.
Thank you, Dean. First and foremost, congratulations to all the other nominees. It's an incredible honor to be included in this group. Thank you to the LABJ and the sponsors for this tremendous honor. It's truly appreciated and unexpected. I'd also like to thank Headspace for taking a chance on me over 5 years ago as the company's first legal hire. Special thanks to our founders, Rich Pearson and Andy Puddicombe, as well as Sean Brecker, who is our CFO and more importantly, my boss. And finally, a massive shout out to our wonderful associate corporate counsel, Kate Fitzgerald, whose incredible work makes me look good on a daily basis. I'd also like to thank Brent Blakely and Cindy Chan for breaking me into the legal profession and their patience and diligence in training me as a junior litigator and allowing me to get where I am today. Finally, I'd like to thank my lovely girlfriend, Saray, and the rest of my friends and family who have helped me be the man that I am.
Thank you, Michael. Let me ask you a question, which is this. How did the transition to working from home impact you and your teams?
Kind of like what Jason just said, in every conceivable way. We have a relatively small team of 2 here at Headspace Legal. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about having a lean team is Kate, my associate corporate counsel, and I, we sit right next to each other and we almost have a full 8-hour meeting every day as we're working away on our various projects. Since that went away, since we are no longer in the office, it became of paramount importance that Kate and I continue our close interaction. So we've scheduled daily stand-ups to stay connected and to stay in sync. It's also been an important aspect of working remote to maintain that connectivity with the rest of the organization. I'm sure that other in-house attorneys on here can empathize with the task of going around the company and lifting up rocks, trying to spot issues, which is a little bit more challenging in a remote workforce. So that's definitely been a key consideration, but so far it's been successful and I'm looking forward to the rest of 2020.
Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Next, we turn to the large size private company category. Our finalists in this category are Alan Diedelbach, Wedgwood. On top of leading his own team of 14, Alan collaborates with all key stakeholders to guide decisions and visions for the company, identifying risk and opportunities, enabling the business to thrive. Don Hajiji, PCV Mercor. Don serves as General Counsel and Privacy and Compliance Officer at PCV Mercor Real Estate, High Tide Settlement, and VRM Mortgage Services, and as an independent director at Elevate Services. Clarice Hovsepian, iHerb. In addition to her general counsel role, Clarice is committed to iHerb's most important philanthropic endeavors, including literacy and education for children in Cambodia. Congratulations to all 3 finalists. The 2020 honoree for in-house counsel in the large private category is Don Hajiji, PCV Mercor. Don, please say a few words.
Thank you, Dean. USC has played a special role in mentoring Los Angeles professional and economic community, and particularly the legal community. And I want to say a special thank you to one person who has enabled me to share in that mentoring. She has been a strong mentor of mine, former dean of the USC Law School, and now Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals Judge, Dorothy W. Nelson. I salute my co-finalists, Claire and Alan, and of course, all of the distinguished nominees today. And I see a lot of my ACC friends, Robert Kane, Kara Thorland, Rob Radar, and a big shout out to one of my very special go-to law firms, Blank Rome. And we're joined today by many of their partners, their chair, Alan Hoffman, their CEO, Graham Palmer, Stacy Phillips, Linda Kornfeld, Dennis Ealing, Cheryl Chang, Jason Kim, Lisa Bachner, and Howard Nee. Josh Schimmel, many thanks to you and the Los Angeles Business Journal for this award, and really for bringing so many members of our community here together. Today, Josh, the Los Angeles Business Journal is demonstrating the power and the contributions of the legal community in Los Angeles. Los Angeles has always been a place of dreams for me ever since I was a new law grad and I arrived at LAX. But the genius of the LA institutional community, as captured by the Los Angeles Business Journal, is not only that it attracts those with dreams to Los Angeles, but it is the community's power to support those dreams as they mature into visions and as those visions are transformed into realities. And although the role of general counsel in this dream matrix is a relatively new one, it today is more important and critical than ever. Indeed, my hero and my mentor, Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, who was one of the first corporate counsels in the United States, was a pioneer, and he taught us a very important corporate governance principle, that an enterprise must care equally for people as well as profits. And today, as we know, we are all challenged, and this very important principle is being challenged as we enter into this next normal. To paraphrase Irish poet William Yeats, it is a tough beast slouching towards Bethlehem to be born. Yesterday, the New York Times reported that this new normal will require corporations and their in-house legal resources to recognize the special burdens that are being placed on people of color, women, and the disabled. So as I stand here today to accept this award, I am proud to be the General Counsel of PCB Morcor, to be an independent director of Elevate Services, a global law and technology company, and to partner with firms like Blank Rome, all of which are organizations that have readily stepped up to this responsibility. So a big thank you again to the Los Angeles Business Journal, your incredible events team, Alex and Tori, bravo.
Thank you so much, Don, and thank you for a shout out for Dorothy Nelson, one of the great leaders and deans in USC's history. I appreciate that. Let me ask you a question. Can you tell us about an obstacle you and your team have overcome this year?
You know, we like to look at it, and the vision of our CEO is to look at things not as obstacles, but as opportunities. And this transition for us was very seamless. Working for an entrepreneurial, innovative company, we transitioned immediately, and everybody on the team, we have redundancies built in, and part of our executive leadership is to always think about that black swan. So although we may not know what the black swan is, we have the processes in place to continue business continuity. So it has been really an exciting time for our team because we have just been seamless, and it just continues on.
Thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
And now for our final award of today, the public company category. Our finalists are Sabina Chlorfine, SoCal Gas Company. Sabina has been the lead attorney for all Aliso Canyon gas leak legal matters, including civil litigation, state agency enforcement actions, a criminal case, shareholder cases, and related appellate matters. Arjun Kampani, Aerojet Rocketdyne. As part of the C-suite, Arjun participates and leads the company's veteran outreach and military support, including job training, hiring, and community involvement. Dan Tepstein, Verizon. Dan leads a team that not only litigates, but serves as the company's legal support for Verizon Media Group's newsroom editors and journalists, as well as its global response to law enforcement requests. Congratulations to all three finalists. The 2020 honoree for In-House Counsel in the public company category is Sabina Chlorfine, SoCal Gas Company. Sabina, please say a few words.
Thank you so much, Dean Guzman. And congratulations to my fellow nominees. It's truly an honor to receive this award in such distinguished company. I would first like to thank my family for their continuous support, my parents for encouraging their daughter to follow her passion and for instilling the importance of giving back to your community. Next to my husband, who's always been a true partner, and finally to my kids for always being so proud of what their mom does and supporting me. I'd also like to thank those who I've come to think of as my work family at Sempra Energy and at SoCal Gas. Thank you to my business colleagues and legal team members who are a high-performing team, precisely because we do not always think the same way, but we're always aligned in our desire to do the right thing. And thank you to my mentors, Rob Borthwick, David Barrett, Roger Schwecke, who encouraged me and supported me when I had the opportunity to take leadership roles. It's because of their support that I'm always constantly learning and being challenged. I'm so proud of the work that the legal team does to support the company, working on its own or partnering with outside counsel. So I really consider this award to be a recognition not only of my own accomplishments, but really of the legal team over at SoCal Gas and Sempra Energy. Thank you again to Los Angeles Business Journal for this honor, and a special thank you to Rasha Shields at Jones Day for nominating me.
Thank you, Sabina. So my question for you is this: how is working with a public company different from working with a private one?
Well, since I've only worked at a public company, but certainly represented some private companies when I was outside counsel over at Millbank, at Catton, I would say that obviously there's a whole host of different regulations that you have to be mindful of. I think usually the size is also very different. SoCalGas in particular has 7,500 employees. That's usually not the same. In private companies, they tend to be somewhat smaller in terms of employees. But I think again, the focus on mission is very similar. And staying focused on what the core mission is. I think that's actually very similar for private and public companies. But I think the SEC looks at you a little differently if you're a public company than a private company.
Thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
So congratulations to all the in-house counsel nominees, finalists, and honorees. I'm happy to now pass the baton back to Josh.
Well, how about a final round of applause for all of this year's nominees, finalists, and honorees. It's been really just an absolute pleasure getting to know you. So many fascinating things that you've each had to say. We know and understand that your time is extremely valuable, so we really appreciate you spending the time with us this afternoon. A huge thank you to Dean Guzman of USC and Darren Sennett of Scorpion. It was a pleasure to share the virtual stage with you both. I want to remind everybody that you'll have an opportunity to read more about all of today's finalists and winners in Monday's print and digital editions of the LA Business Journal. Additionally, there will be a recorded version of the entire program today available on labusinessjournal.com, which is a chance for you to share this recognition to those in your inner circles who perhaps weren't able to join you today. And lastly, I want to give a special thank you to the entire law community for all that you do. We heard so many fascinating things about the ways you work with businesses, the ways our in-house counsel work to protect their businesses. And thank you guys all so much. We look forward to hosting you next year, perhaps in person, but if not, we'll do it online. And everybody, until then, be safe and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.